What's up, spectators? Welcome back to another episode of Ace Attorney Investigations. We are now in another part, and maybe the last part of interrogating Mr. Alba. I've been wrong before, so I'm not going to make any assumptions, but that's what it feels like. It feels like we're coming to a close. Soon. Probably. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. As if there's anything else for me to testify about. I still have yet to fully prove that it was Mr. Alba who murdered Mr. Kochin. Well, I would like to hear about your movements before the murder occurred. I wonder if you could tell us about what you did here at the Theatrum Neutralis. Very well, I suppose I could tell you about that. Because about all I did was watch the Steel Samurai stage show. Elaborating on even that alone is good enough for me. The only way for me to place this man under arrest is to pinpoint the exact location of where the murder took place, for that is the key to this investigation. I watched from the last row. The stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience. Okay, wait, well, alright. I swear I was there in the audience, but it's hard to prove that, I suppose. I do remember the contents of the show very well, though. Is that proof enough for you? Those moving scenes were seared into this old man's heart. I'll never forget them. So you were in the theater proper, watching the Steel Samurai stage show, were you? Of course I was. I have a great fondness for the Steel Samurai. Hee, yeah, I was pretty cool up there, wasn't I? You're not the one who was cool, it's the Steel Samurai who's cool. Yeah, and the Steel Samurai special finishing move today was really something, huh? Hey, Edgy, who is she? Who is this super cute girl? She's been standing here this whole time and only now he notices her? Her name is Kay Faraday, and she's helping me in my investigation. Sorry I didn't get to introduce myself earlier, but better late than never. Yeah, so Kay, I'm Larry Butts. Silence in the peanut gallery. There's no time for such trivialities at a time like this. Mr. P, this is the final battle, you got that? I know. This is the end. For that man there. Blah, blah, blah. Now that's the kind of thing I like to hear. I think I'll give trusting you a try, Mr. P. Or rather, Mr. Edgeworth. I leave this critical battle up to you, Mr. Edgeworth. Have no fear, I'll finish the gerb. This really is the end game. Stop saying it's the end! You've said it. Saying it too much! The time has come to expose every last one of Mr. Alba's lies. I watched from the last row. The stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience. The last row? I should think that an ambassador would have had special seating reserved. I wanted my staff to enjoy the Steel Samurai show as well. So I gave up all of the good seats for them. It was enough for me to simply see him. Hey, the Steel Samurai wasn't the only hero. Let's not forget about the Pink Princess here. My dear madam, if you continue to thrust about like that, your hip may begin to hurt again. Oh my, well aren't you the considerate person when you want to be? But this young butterfly is on the side of edgy poop. So you could spare me the flirtatious come-ons. Wow, he's completely frozen. In frustration, perhaps. I dare say she can be one rather trying opponent. In any case, Mr. Alba, can you actually prove to us that you were watching the show? I swear I was there in the audience, but that's hard to prove that, I suppose.
Hold it!
Are you admitting, then, that you have no way of proving to us that you were watching?
Objection!
Quiet! You buzz in my ear like a pesky little fly. If you don't wish to listen quietly until the end of what I have to say, then perhaps you should pack up and get out of my way. I see that you're willing to be a bit more receptive now. While it's true that it may be difficult to prove that I was out in the audience, I do remember the contents of the show very well, though. Is that proof enough for you?
Hold
Well, I remember the contents of the show as well myself. That's nice. Cool story, bro. Don't allow yourself to be riled up by him at this important juncture. I wasn't planning to let him. Well, if you ask me, I think I'm the biggest Steel Samurai expert around here. And didn't you think the cinematic scene of today's show was just totally awesome? Yes, I remember that well. And that spectacular special move. The way you delivered the final blow against the evil magistrate, early summer rain jab. Oh, that scene will live on in my heart forever. Is that how it went? I totally forgot about that. How can you forget your own special moves? That's the special attack that the Steel Samurai uses when he's using the Samurai Spear. Yes, and today was the first time they showed it off, was it not? If I hadn't watched the show, then how could I answer you with the name of the move? I suppose you are correct, but if you could, please elaborate on this point for me. Wasn't the spear broken? One of the scenes was of his never-before-seen early summer rain jab move.
Hold it!
Was a move that was to be unveiled today. And because I saw that brand new special move, I believe it confirms my alibi. How sad. The only way he's got to protect himself is that he watched the Steel Samurai. I guess this guy really has nothing else left. Yes, and to avoid arrest, you can bet he'll say or do anything. But with all of us here, there'll be no escape for him. We'll find a way to bring him to justice. Now then, let us continue with your testimony, Mr. Alba. Very well, the Steel Samurai's special move and the various other scenes. Those moving scenes were seared into this old man's heart.
Hold it!
I agree. Today will be a day to remember. Especially when we finally make you pay for all the wrongs you've committed. What? That's what the Steel Samurai says when he defeats the evil magistrate. Actually, that line was just something I ad-libbed. You may act all surprised, but naturally you remember this line, don't you? Of course I do. I just now understand how the evil magistrate felt, that's all. Then allow me to make you identify with the evil magistrate some more. Hey, then that makes you the Steel Samurai, huh? Well, if you had to complete the analogy, I suppose then yes. And I do believe it's about time to bring the curtains down on this with a bang. Kay and myself were also in the audience at the Steel Samurai stage show. He's got nothing on the Jammin' Ninja, but he was still cool enough, I guess. Wasn't my brand new special finishing move totally rad? No, don't tell me. It was you who thought up the special move. Yup. Now, what was it again? Extremely silly rain jab, was that it? No, wait, it was stubble breaking chop. That doesn't sound quite right. How could you forget a move you came up with? The final piece to Mr. Alba's alibi is that he was watching the Steel Samurai show. But if he was busy killing Mr. Kochin, he should not have had the time to do so. Of course, he this. If this move requires the spear, I thought he didn't have the spear. Isn't that right?
Objection!
The special move today was the early summer rain jab. Is that your final answer?
Objection!
You little irritating gnat. Do you think you can trip me up by asking the same question over and over? That was not my intention. Your testimony is more than sufficient. But I believe it would be wise for you to take a look at this. The Samurai Spear. What about it? This spear actually never made it on stage today. Excuse-moi? Unfortunately for you, tonight's Steel Samurai happened to be a goof of a young man with an abundance of useless hot-bloodedness. Having said that, said useless man bent the spear during his rehearsal this evening. Okay, do you remember what the Steel Samurai special move was tonight? It was the Steel Samurai Sushi Slash. Ah, Correctamundo, because he couldn't use the spear. A last-minute change was made. Had you really been watching the show, you would have known the move that was used. Cursus Alba! You didn't watch even a single minute of the Steel Samurai stage show tonight, did you? Aha! So if he wasn't watching the show tonight, then it opens up the possibility that he was busy killing Mr. Kochin instead. So where were you during the show? I demand an answer now. Just what is so funny? You're so sloppy. And so are your conclusions. I still insist that I watch the show, or most of it in any case. What do you mean by most of it? Aha, you see, during the show, I left my seat for a spell to visit the bathroom. I assume that was when that dramatic scene was played out on stage. That is the lousiest, lamest excuse I've ever heard in my life, pal. Just because he got the name of the move wrong, we can't really use that as proof that he didn't watch the show at all. As a fan of the Steel Samurai, I'd want to watch the entire show, honest.
Objection!
As a Steel Samurai fan, for someone who wasn't even in his seat for the climax of the show, you have no right to call yourself a Steel Samurai fan, ever. Who was that just now? It would be I, young lady! Larry, what are you doing interrupting me like that? Edgy! Just hold on for a second, I beg. You may never accept this old man as a Steel Samurai fan, but I totally think he's a Steel Sam-maniac. What exactly is a Steel Sam-maniac, pal? I believe he meant to say Steel Samurai Maniac. Why would he not say Steel Samuraniac? That seems way better than Steel Samaniac. And trust me, I know a real fan when I see one, because I'm the Steel Samurai.
Objection!
I will never acknowledge you as the Steel Samurai. True Steel Samurai. What are you getting so worked up over, Mr. Ed E? Ugh. It appears that the real Steel Samurai recognizes me as a fan. As well he should, for I am a fan. It's not as though I missed the entire show. It was the most amazing show, filled with the spirit of the young and the young at heart. Sarcasm dripping from his long wooden nose couldn't run any thicker. Getting the name of the move wrong only proves that he didn't watch the last scene. What I really need here is something more definitive. Something that links Mr. Alba directly to the murder of Mr. Manny Kochin. You know what, Gramps? You're really something else. I'm honored to receive such a praise from the Steel Samurai, but what is it for? Well, I was just wondering how you found out about the early summer rain jab. That move is a bit of a secret that only a small portion of the staff know about. It was a secret? Larry, wait, what did you just say? Did I say something stupid again? Did you say that the early summer rain jab was actually a secret? Well, maybe I shouldn't have said secret. It's more like we only decided on the name of the move right before the start of the show. Right before? Yeah, the stage director was going nuts because we were supposed to debut the move. About 5 minutes before the show, we threw it up on the dressing room's whiteboard. Early summer rain jab, that's kinda how we decided the name of the move. But by that time, I already bent the spear, so I guess the whole thing was kinda pointless. All of you Steel Samurai actors are the same. The director has my complete sympathy. So basically, because we changed the move to the sushi slash, we kinda pretended that the early summer rain jab didn't exist at all. I mean, it'd be bad if someone found out we changed the move, so we made it a secret. So basically, a gag order was issued for publicity's sake. It almost makes the early summer rain jab sound like a lost art. Yeah, which is why I think most of the staff haven't even heard of the move.
Objection.
Hold those lips of yours still. What the heck, old man? I've done nothing but listen, and from what I can tell, it's all very unrelated to the case. It's also very tedious and a pointless exercise and wasting time, much like a kid's show.
Objection.
Mr. Alba, I believe the one who should be quiet now is you. How dare you? I suspect that you've already noticed exactly what the very severe implications are in this man's testimony. Ha! So now you're trying to bully me, huh? There are no implications to be read into the behind-the-scenes story of a kid's show. Don't even think about trying to slither your way out of this, Cursus Alba. You were the one who said it yourself, that the name of the move was Early Summer Rain Jab. But that name was only decided upon right before the show was about to start. So, just what are you driving at? That the name of the move you told us was never used in a show or said aloud. Now then, would you care to tell us about how you found out the name of that move? Because I can only think of one way you could have known. Cursus Alba, this is the only way you could have known the name of the special move. You saw it. In a place you shouldn't have been. You knew the name because you saw it. You saw it on the dressing room's whiteboard. The staff members who knew were keeping it a secret. So you couldn't have simply gone up to a staff member and asked. Which means that the only other option left is that you saw it on the whiteboard. So that means that Mr. Alba was in the waiting room at some point, right? But what's the big deal, sir? I don't see what that means. There is another piece of evidence that has a great deal to do with the dressing room. So we can't afford to let this slide. This is related to both the dressing room and to Mr. Koten's murder. What was in the dressing room? Well, none of this stuff. No. From the, okay. Percent for embassy staff is sold back, took an aid from through the dressing room. Okay. I'm trying to think how this is relevant, though. Like, this is clearly what they want, but I don't know why. Is it because the cart wasn't supposed to be there? Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. I guess they'll have to tell us what it means.
Take that.
Oh no! It's not that? That seems so right. Okay, okay. What am, okay, well this time I'll present for something. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. What am I missing here? What? Something related to the dressing room that isn't the hot dog. Of course, the hot dogs were supposed to be in the push cart, which would have Mr. Koten's body, if that's what they're trying to get me to connect. Right? Really thought it was gonna be the samurai dogs.
Take that.
So it is the push cart. So, okay. So I must have missed a step there. So it's gonna be push cart, hot dog, dressing room. Not, yeah, okay, that's gotta be it. The push cart that was used to move the body was right there in the dressing room. During the show, the push cart awaited its turn to be pushed on stage in the dressing room. And it was finally pushed there along with the Iron Infant in the last scene of the show. And then right after the show ended, it went into Alabast along with the Steel Samurai. Which means that the only time the killer could have placed the body inside the pushcart was when the pushcart was in the dressing room backstage. So basically, the killer has to be someone who visited the dressing room during the show. Precisely. But wait, what if, and this is just a what if the murder didn't take place in the dressing room? What do you mean, Kay? I have to admit, she brings up a valid possibility. During the show, the dressing room was supposed to be devoid of people. Anyone going into the private dressing room would stand out like a sore thumb. But despite that, the killer still managed to move the body with the pushcart. Correct. And it is because of the setup of the theater's dressing room that it would be the ideal location for the murder of Manny Kochin. Cursus Alba! During the show, you went down to the dressing room. And I want to know why. Yes. Yes, I was there. I went into the dressing room. I knew it. I'm placing you under arrest right now, pal. You got that? Arrest!
Objection!
Not so fast. What is it now? Don't I deserve a chance to explain myself? And with that, let's end this video here. So stay tuned for the next one, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye!